Guys, let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens, fresh off a huge victory. All right, the talking heads can get that crap out of their heads once and for all about the Ravens blowing leads and losing games at home. They reversed the curse. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals on a last-second Justin Tucker field goal, 19-17 on Sunday Night Football, proving that they are the legitimate number one team in the AFC North right now. Huge win for the Baltimore Ravens, and I know you have some specifics on the star of the game in our mind, but before I hand it over to you, Ravens fans, we want to hear from you in the comment section below. Look, there's so many great players in Ravens history. Like, even though it's only been 25, 28 years, however long it's been, there's so many superstars. But we're throwing a curveball at you. We don't want to hear about your favorite Raven. We want to hear about your favorite NFL player who wasn't a Baltimore Raven. Let us know who your favorite non-Raven was in the comment section below. But Maya, give me your thoughts on this game and who you think the MVP was and just everything with this crazy Baltimore Ravens win.
Well, Nick, to keep true to the question, I'll say my favorite non-Raven is Stephon Diggs. Obviously, he's a Maryland guy, so that's there's some bias there as well. But I really like his game. He's a really great player, and I wish he was on the team. He'd be a great addition. So come back to Baltimore, Stephon, on your next much cheaper second big time contract.
Exactly.
But my favorite player on the Ravens, I know you know this. I talk about him a lot. Probably not enough, but he's probably the best football player I've ever seen play the game of football at his position. Obviously, we're talking about Justin Tucker, who I'll say is the greatest kicker of all time. He's been doing it. He's got the length. He's got the power, and he's got the accuracy, and he's been doing it for so long. He's been so good for so long. That's why I say that. So, but obviously he came into this game and he was the star of the game for Baltimore. He kicked I think 3 or 4 field goals this game. Very, very impressive. But Tucker is just a machine. And, I have some comments from him from the very, is this the first post-game kicker interview? I don't know many kickers that are going to interview post-game, but he had a really funny comments in that interview. But Tucker, I think we're getting this, but he changes the game for the Ravens. When you can see the logo on the field and know that you're in range, I've said this multiple times, Nick, I don't really get nervous when he's on the field unless it's over 60 yards. I am 100% sure he's going to make everything 60 and under. So once you start putting a little bit more distance out there, that's when I'm like, ooh, might want to sit down and watch this one. This is going to be a close kick. 60 and under, he's going to make it every time. But let me get into these comments about that Tucker gave post-game. And it's funny because what he says sounds so arbitrary and kind of ridiculous. But when you think about it, this is really true. So he goes, my feelings don't matter when I go out there. What matters is seeing the ball snapped at 12 o'clock laces from Nick Moore. Seeing the ball spotted cleanly by Jordan Stout, by the way, his first career game-winning hold. And from there, I'm just a system kicker. The ball kicks itself. All the feelings and stuff, we can enjoy that afterwards. But this is how Baltimore is so good. John Harbaugh, obviously a special teams-minded head coach. He has got this team rolling. Tucker is really obviously the man who leads the charge. But Stout and Nick Moore are two guys who are new. Nick Moore, I believe this is his second year as the long snapper for Baltimore, but Jordan Stout's a rookie holder, and he's got this new system in place, and they're already rolling this season, Nick, and it's pretty incredible to watch.
Yeah, and you brought up the point of how Justin Tucker changes the game, and basically for what he does is unreal. It's hard to quantify, but you can tell watching that Cincinnati Bengals game. So late in the game, obviously, game-winning drive that Lamar Jackson is leading at their own 45-yard line. Right at their own 45, the Ravens start running the football. They run the football basically the rest of the drive, and that's crazy to think about because any team playing defense in that situation, they're playing whatever pass coverage they have. Either they're going after the quarterback, they're playing some shell zone, man up, whatever it is. They're focusing on the pass because at that point, traditionally, and even for a lot of players and kickers in today's NFL, if you're at your own 45, you are at least 15 yards away from try it range and probably 20 to 25 yards away from really legitimately field goal range. But with Justin Tucker, they were probably 7 or 8 yards away from try it, potentially make it range, right? So with that mindset, especially with a guy like Lamar Jackson, they can run the football against a defense that's trying to play pass. And you saw what happened. Lamar Jackson broke a pretty big run. They actually kept running the football a few more times and ended up pretty much much being a chip shot for Tucker because the defense just doesn't have an answer. Because if they try and shift to playing run, the Ravens will complete the football and move into field goal range anyway, just because they're 5 yards away from field goal range essentially at that point, 5-10 yards. And that just changes the entire calculus of these situations. It just makes it incredibly hard for teams to win games against the Baltimore Ravens when they are literally at any point in time, if they're at their own 45, they're 10 yards away from field goal range. That's incredibly hard to play defense, and especially when you got a guy like Lamar Jackson on the other side. So what Justin Tucker brings to this game, he essentially takes a 100-yard football field and makes it 90 yards. And that just is teams, they're not structured to handle that. Defensive coordinators come with game plans and things like that to say, okay, here are the systems that we have to deal with. Here are the constraints that every team has to make. There's no cheat codes in the game and things like that. Justin Tucker is a cheat code that makes the football field basically 10 yards shorter for Lamar Jackson and that Ravens offense. You saw the results of it Sunday night. He made the 58-yarder. It affected the game planning and game play calling down the stretch. The Ravens did it very smart. Lamar Jackson handled it very well. They got an even closer range, which became a chip shot for Justin Tucker. And how about, I don't know if you saw this, Mize, the next gen stats or whatever after the game. They showed that if the field goal post, I think it was like 7/8 of a foot, 7 inches, whatever it was, off of dead center from 43 yards, where if the goalpost had been like that narrow, he still would have made it. I mean, the guy is insane.
Yeah, I think they've been saying all season long pretty much the Arena League field goal posts, which are much narrower than NFL posts, every single one of his kicks this season would have made it through an Arena League field goal post. So he's on another level. He's doing big things, but Ravens fans have known this for a long time. It's just not many people are going to talk about the kicker. We felt that we should do our due diligence and let people know how great Justin Tucker is, just in case you hadn't heard of it.